It's the Three Wise Men, everybody. Hello, Lima Land. I'm Danny Holbrook, joined by Miles Holliday and Nate Garlock. Gentlemen, it's week 10 of the high school football season. It's just went by so quick. On the radio today, we talked about our favorite things we've seen all year. What say you, Miles?
I just love the pageantry, the atmosphere of going to high school football games in Northwest Ohio. It's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
People show up 2 hours before, hour and a half before. People tailgate. The atmosphere for these games is fantastic. That's the biggest thing, right? It's not like that everywhere in Ohio.
It's not.
It's a special place. Even after games where people are meandering on the football field after a big win, they're talking. It's like nobody wants to go home. That's a special environment.
How about you, Nate?
You know, for me, I think it's been the parity this year because we've seen a lot of teams that, you know, maybe haven't been like traditional powers, but they've been winning games or having successful seasons. It really is any Friday night, anything can happen. And we've seen some record-breaking nights. We've seen some big numbers being put up. And it's just been all that parity has made Friday night so unpredictable. Has made it so much more fun.
Absolutely. All right, guys, let's get right into it. The Diamond Dave Bowen, best thing we saw all week.
You want me to go first?
Yeah,
this might surprise you. I have a few.
Really? More than one?
More than one.
I'm shocked.
More than one.
Yeah, wow.
Hey, our good friends, the Berkey family, Beckett Berkey, Buckets Berkey, what a cool thing over the weekend. We're going to have a chance to talk to him next week, talk about his commitment to the University of Findlay in basketball. Fantastic. Findlay's getting a fantastic one there, aren't they?
He's really, really good. I'm really excited for him to go to Findlay. But I just feel like he could play at another level. And I love Findlay. No disrespect to Findlay, but I just see him at a bigger school. But he's going to do great at Findlay.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Ohio State. It's not too late. Come on, get in on that one.
I think it's just great because, you know, you get to, obviously Findlay must be a great fit and he's very comfortable there. And when you see a kid with a talent that he has going somewhere where he is comfortable, where he's a good fit, they thrive even more. And then we get a chance to see that because he'll be so close. You still get a chance to watch that up close and personal, and he's going to be successful no matter where he goes. But the fact that he's going to do it local makes it even better.
Hey, a special player. Seth Elkert, another special player. I don't know if you saw this or not, set the Ohio State record with consecutive catches in a football game. 44 consecutive football games he has caught a pass over at Liberty Benton. And as they said on the post on the X, and counting. Yeah, so it's going to continue to grow as a state record. Congratulations to the Elkert family over there. Boy, how about Columbus Grove and their physicality? Yeah. Everybody forgets every single year when you talk about football and you come out of 7-on-7 and everybody's throwing the football around and it's going to be a pretty game and everybody forgets. It's still a violent game, right? And Columbus Grove's physicality was something that really helped them beat LCC over this past weekend. Started out 0-3. Look at them now because they're beating teams up. Their physicality is fantastic. And then our old friend Carson Parker from LCC got his first college start at Ohio Dominican at quarterback and did a good job in his first start there. So those are my favorite things.
That's a kid that's staying the process, isn't he?
He
really enjoys that place. And that's what you said about having a good fit, being comfortable. Carson's going to do good things there. I predict he's going to be a starter for the next couple of years.
Absolutely.
Be a great job, yeah.
Yeah, for me, so my first one is all of the teams that have already claimed at worst a share of their conference title. Yeah. We go into week 10 with really the only thing that's still up for grabs is whether they're going to be outright or not. But we had NWC Columbus Grove in the TCal Lima Senior, Walpock in the WBL, Marion Local in the MAC, North Baltimore in the NWCC, and Liberty Benton in the VBC. All are conference champions, all coming out of week 9 with no worse than at least a share of their conference titles, have great seasons, get rewarded with it. The kids get rewarded. They know they're going to be a conference champ, and that was really good to see this last week.
Plus, the coach gets to say, let's be greedy. Sharing is not caring.
Right.
And then a couple of individual performances that I thought were really, really impressive. Xavier Gammon from Kenton, 360 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns, as they gave St. Mary's all that they could handle and almost pulling that upset over there. And then Zach Welsh. Zach Welsh in the warm-up to this big Walpock game this week. 327 yards through the air, 151 yards rushing as they beat Defiance, as what they hoped was that final tune-up before that huge matchup this week against Walpock.
I know Defiance gave them a little bit of scare in that first half, too.
Guys, I was over at Ada Friday night, Ada and Pandora Gilboa, and got to watch a record-setting performance. Corey Girton, the Pandora quarterback. Now, he was 15 of 18 for 252 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he broke the school career passing record with 6,400 yards. Look, Bowling Green, Toledo, call the kid. He's such a talented kid. I was in the booth before the game, and one of the guys from Ada said, I've never seen this kid play. Is he good? And I said, oh, I said, he's got the arm strength of anybody in the area. He can read defenses. He's athletic. And sure enough, after the game, the guy come over and he goes, man, Danny, you were spot on. He said, that's as good a quarterback as I've saw all year. Maybe going on my board soon. Maybe.
Oh,
yeah.
So
Just
two
maybe.
things. One, did we just listen to Danny tell us a story about somebody telling him how right he was?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yeah,
How
yeah,
good
yeah,
it is.
right.
That was a part.
Yeah.
That was the whole point of that story.
Look, it
right?
happens
Was
once
so
a
some
year.
random guy. He could tell us how some
Wasn't a
random guy said he
random guy. It
was
was one of my
Was
old
that guy?
coaches.
Is that what it
It was
was?
Gilly, wasn't it?
No.
But then
Gilly
second-
was asleep.
Second part of that, the narrative coming into this season for him was going to be, he's lost all of those all-state wide receivers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent.
Turns it
Is he
over
going
too
to
much.
be able to do that? He has put all of that to bed. He has continued the success. I mean, he's just a tremendous talent. Doesn't matter who he's throwing to.
They may have lost some guys, but they are loaded at the skill position. Burkholder behind him
he's
is a
fantastic,
bruising
yeah.
back. Myers on the outside is a great one. Boggs on the other side. I'm telling you, they're going to be a tough out. This Pandora squad is really talented. It's interview time here on the Three Wise Men. We got a couple Crestview Knights in the house. Braxton Leeth, Will Sheets. Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Good. You ready to do this?
Yep.
You saw the show. You know exactly what we do
Yeah.
because we're going to be coming at you hard and fast, right? All right, let's
Sounds
do this.
good.
All right, guys. Week 10 coming up on you guys. Let's talk about the season. Let's talk about some of the highs and lows. I know you've had a historical year and you've been running behind this guy. Talk about some good things that have happened this year for the Knights.
This year, I think we all just really came together, really well. I think this is the most bonding I've ever seen a Crestview football team have. So I'd say that's the high point of the year for sure.
Yeah. How about you, Will?
The high point of the year was definitely all the records that we've set with him, obviously, and I think I like to take a little credit for all the linemen too.
Well, I was going to bring that up. You got to feel good about the fact that you guys are blocking for this guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you start a season, you have goals. There's things that you want to do, you want to accomplish, things you think you can do. I can't imagine you were sitting there in July going, I'm going to rush for over 2,000 yards this year. I got this in me. But I'm sure wanting to, get the yardage up and be able to have a successful season is something that was a goal of yours. At what point, though, were you like, all right, you know what? 200 yards a game, this is something I can do. This is going to be a regular thing for me. When did it kind of kick in that you were going to be able to accomplish anything close to what you're doing right now?
Honestly, I thought Parkway was kind of like a fluke. But then once when we played Fort Loramie and I had about 400 again, I was kind of like, okay, it's go time. Just keep it rolling at this point.
Nice.
Now, Coach scheduled Marion local, all right? And when he first scheduled it, what was the reaction for all you guys? And furthermore, when you played a team like Marion local, what was that like as a measuring stick for you guys?
When he first scheduled it and I found out, I was kind of like, why? I was like, that's gonna be tough. But playing them, I think that slowed the rest of the year down because you don't see a team that plays as quick as Marion local. Again, the rest of the season.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it just after playing them, you kind of realize what level you have to play at to be really good, and so it kind of just made us realize how good they are compared to everyone else and what we could play like if we played harder and what it could do for our team.
Now, you said they play really quick, right? What are some things that you took away from playing Marion local?
Just the effort they played with and the intensity. It was really different than most teams you play.
And be honest, after that game, you walked around for a week saying, well, it's been 2 weeks. We've also played Marion local, and I'm averaging over 200 yards a game, right?
No.
Braxton, well, what? Talk to me about the Crestview culture. You guys win everything you do, girls sports,
It's a great
boys
program.
sports. It is a great athletic program. Talk about the culture you guys have there. And you guys talked about coming together and stuff. So can we just talk a little bit about that?
One thing I can point out is at assemblies, everyone's screaming, everyone just comes together for one big, our homecoming assembly was pretty loud. I mean, it was impressive. I just think it's nice that everyone comes together every once in a while, all teams, and we all communicate like that.
You guys hear about drama in other schools and maybe a parent getting out of control or maybe a community member doing something that distracts from the team goals. It doesn't seem like it happens there. Do you have that kind of stuff ever?
I feel like we don't because everyone expects to win and everyone knows what to expect. So if you're not doing what you're supposed to, then you'll be punished for it in sports, and that's just how it is at Crestview.
You guys have great leadership. Does that help? I mean, look at all you coaches you guys have. They're just it's one after another, and you guys just win at everything. That has to be a factor, right?
Oh yeah, I think coaching staffs all across the board are incredible. They're always like into it with the kids. It's not like they're yelling when they yell at you. It's not them being mean to you. It's them like wanting to teach you and wanting to make you better.
Yeah, see, Danny just yells at us. He doesn't teach us. He just yells at us. Our meetings
I
are
gotta do
awful.
it sometimes.
They're absolutely
I
awful.
won't yell at you too. I promise.
Guys, I want to talk to you about that running game. I mean, it's like Danny said, it's a historic year for you guys running the football, okay? For you, number one, I know you guys are a big zone team. Walk me through, when you get the football, the vision, the cutback. What do you see? What are you reading?
Honestly, when I run the ball, I kind of forget about the run after, It just kind of happens. But what I look for originally is I look to see if I can see my lead blocker's butt or not. And if I can't, I know I have to go outside.
Nice.
But if I see their butt, I can cut inside off of them. So a lot of it's just based off leverage that my blocker has. And whenever I see, like, the back of their jersey, I cut in. And when I see the front or I see the other guy's jersey, I go outside.
Well, that's easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then hit acceleration.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, what's the toughest thing that teams have done to you guys to take away any type of run game for you?
When they bring multiple guys that we don't have accounted for.
Too many hats, huh?
Yeah. It's hard to adjust to that.
Did you go back and say, Coach, we can't block guys when we don't have enough guys? Do you say stuff like that? Or do you guys have a checkout system that you can go to?
We try to adjust to it and just over the course of the game try to fix it up and take care of those guys.
Does Coach ever look at you and say, look, you're a giant, Will, just block two?
Yeah, they do say that sometimes.
That's coaching right there.
When you guys look at just for example, the ESPN board for national numbers, and you see this guy's name up there, how does that make you guys feel? I mean, you got to be sky high knowing your hard work's paying off, and you got to be thrilled to death that, hey, that's my guy that I'm blocking for.
I mean, it's kind of crazy to me, honestly. I never expected it when I was coming into the season, but it's really all these guys. Like, it's 10% me, 90% them. It's all these guys right here.
That's awesome stuff. Yeah, that's really good stuff. Let me ask you this. We ask everybody that comes on this show, who's the one team that you guys want to beat the most?
LCC.
Yeah, I agree.
Why LCC?
They get us in basketball twice last year.
Yeah.
And then in their Barstool caption they put
Talk to me, Will.
I remember this. I remember this.
they put proud owners of Crestview High School.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, so speaking of that, we might as well just jump in. We might as well jump into it then. Huge matchup this week. You guys against LCC. They're coming into your place. You guys got to win to keep the season going, to make the playoffs, and can continue going this year. But it's not an easy matchup for you. What are you guys thinking going in? How are you guys feeling about this matchup?
I think we need to be more physical than we've been all year. Like, this game has to take everything from everybody. And if we all give 110% all game, I mean, I think we can come out on top.
Yeah, I think we really got to step up defensively and really play aggressive.
Are you guys feeling that kind of that extra pressure, knowing that it's win, or, winning in, lose, and we're going home? Is that kind of an added piece for you guys this week?
Oh, for sure. This could be my last – it won't be, but this could be my last game, and I'm going to give it everything I got.
I like how he caught that, right?
Yeah.
It won't be.
Yeah.
I like that determination.
Absolutely.
Watching, I had them last week, LCC at Columbus Grove. You guys got that film. After watching that film, what are some things that you took away that you think you can maybe capitalize on?
I think we can – there's some areas in the defense that we can throw the ball a little bit and spread out our offense.
I mean, Grove's one heck of a team. I wasn't expecting it when we played them based off their record, but, I mean, the scores from their game to our game were somewhat similar, so I definitely think there's some gaps in their defense that, we can exploit and see what happens.
Guys, you guys' careers are coming to an end, whether it's next week or in 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it is. You guys got 2 8th graders over at Crestview that are coming up to the program. What advice would each of you give one of those 8th graders about what to do to become successful in that football program?
Never miss a workout. You got to have your nose on the grindstone all off season, all preseason, even during the season. You can't just start skipping stuff. You can't get lackadaisical with it. You just got to stay with it all year.
I'd say just stay loyal to your team and work hard and show up to all the stuff.
Now, you guys answered LCC on who you want to beat. Is that only because Lincoln View doesn't have a football team?
I don't know.
Lincoln's never beat him at football.
No, they never have. I do want to preface that question because, correct me if I'm wrong, both dads played at Lincoln View or from Lincoln View, right?
Yeah.
Is that a little bit tough?
I've never really thought about it like that.
Okay.
I don't.
Alright.
When I think about him in high school, I don't even really think about Lincoln View.
All right.
Well, I've got a lot of family at Lincoln View.
Do ya?
Like most of my aunts, uncles, they all went there. Like all my cousins go there. So it is nice to beat them.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of playing at the next level, do you guys have any chances to do that next year? Are you being talked to by colleges, being recruited, any visits, anything like that? Breaking news here on the show?
Tiffin reached out today. Actually.
Dragons.
Yeah, to give me a
It's a good
game day
program.
visit. I went on a game day visit to Ashland. And then I've talked to Drake in Iowa a little bit. Not a whole bunch,
Well,
but
let me just say this. If you go to Tiffin or you go to Ashland, whichever one you go to, you'll be dead to the other one because that's a big
Yeah.
rivalry. That's a big rivalry.
Yes,
Yeah, how about
yes.
you, Will?
I've talked to Trine a lot, and
Good program.
I've talked to Dubuque. My brother went there, and then also have game day visits to Valpo and Miami, Ohio.
And they both want you to guys play on offense. Like, they talk to you about being on the offensive line, or were they talking to you about playing
Mainly offense.
offensive
yeah.
line? What about you?
I haven't talked about that a whole lot
Okay.
yet.
All right. You want to carry the ball?
I would love to carry the ball.
I want you to carry the ball. Why would see his numbers,
You
Miles?
just walk in and say, "There's my stats."
Will can back me up.
We'll tell them. All right, guys. I have some rapid fire questions for you guys. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Favorite pair of sneakers?
Ooh.
Love my slides. Wear them everywhere.
Do you really? You're a slides guy.
Yep.
Okay. Is it because you can't tie?
No, I can't. That's what I wore. I've worn them for like 2 years. I don't have any other shoes.
Now, you're not one of those guys that goes on a basketball court and shoots and slides, though, are you?
At lunch ball, I do.
All right. Slides for you?
I wear slides every day.
Do you?
So, yeah.
Okay. All right. I pegged you as a Crocs guy, but that's okay.
No,
Yeah. No Crocs?
No Crocs.
Danny loves Crocs. All right. 6'7". Is it cool or not?
No.
Definitely not.
No. Thank you.
It's annoying.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Favorite thing to do in convoy?
That you can say on
gosh.
TV.
There's nothing to do with that.
Barbecue place. You said the barbecue
That's
place
like a
is good.
sit-down restaurant. Like you,
Okay.
We go to Van Wert
Yeah, you
for
just go to
everything.
Van Wert.
You go to Van Wert for everything?
Yeah.
Don't hang around to the Dollar General in convoy?
no.
No. All right. Favorite thing to do in Van Wert? What do you guys like to do?
Go to Walmart.
yeah, you just walk around.
Pretty
Walmart.
much.
Crazy guys.
You know what? That's
Crazy
why they're so
kids.
good at sports. All the focus goes to sports in Crestwood.
Best thing to do after a big win on Friday night?
Go to Walmart.
You go to Van Wert, get some food.
Okay.
Go home, go to bed.
Go-to place in Van Wert to get food. Where do you go?
McDonald's.
Ooh, McDonald's or Taco Bell.
Hey, boys know what they like.
Very cosmopolitan in convoy right there. All right, last one for you guys. Best pregame music. When you guys are putting together that pregame in the locker room, what do you guys like to listen to?
I'm more of a heavy metal guy, but I'm like probably one of the only guys on the team that likes that, so I don't get my way.
Oh, give me some names now.
I'll listen to some Metallica.
Okay,
You know,
all right. Yeah.
some Rob Zombie. I like Rob Zombie.
Nice, that's Nate
Yeah.
right here, man.
Oh yeah, big Rob
AC/DC.
Zombie fan.
Anything I can really think of.
Okay, what about you?
I'm more of a rap guy. That gets me going more.
When I look at you, I think hip-hop. I do, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. All right, who are your go-to?
I like Lil Wayne, Drake,
Nice.
all the basic people.
Nice, that's cool. Drake, you and Drake. How about that?
Now, guys, I got to ask you. I love the shortcuts. Is that team required, or you guys just go with that? Because I love the short
It's
haircuts.
Hoosiers.
We did it. When was that? 2 years ago in basketball.
I've had a buzz since.
When we went to Finley camp, it was kind of like everyone. I'd say like 8 of us got a buzz
Yeah.
cut, and then we're like the only 2 that kept it. So
Yeah.
It's a good look. It's a good look. Yeah.
All right, last question for me. You know, whether it's this week, hope like you said, it's not going to be, but at some point here in the next week or 4 or 5 weeks, this is going to come to an end. The run is going to be over, and you guys are going to have to move on. I know you still got a year left, Will, but obviously career's coming to an end at Crestview. When it hits that this is it, what is it that you guys are going to take away from this season? Even with the year left, it'll be the last time you guys get to play together. What's that going to be like, and what are you guys going to take away from your time together as teammates and with the rest of your team?
Just all the memories we made, you know, the bonding. I made a lot of new friends this year when it comes to, like, the freshman, sophomore class that I didn't even know they were, like, at Crestview last year. But this year I really took the time to get to know more kids, and, I mean, that's going to, like, stick with me forever.
Yeah, just taking in all the memories. I mean, I'd say we've been best friends since he was probably my first best friend. And just we've done a lot of things together, and football is one of the things we've always had in common.
All right, one more question each for you guys. Will, I'll start with you. Best athlete in the family, Wade, Ren, or you?
I got to give it to Wade right now.
Really?
But
what separates him from you?
he was just a freak of nature back in his high school days, and yeah, it's just I'm not there yet.
You're getting there, though.
Yeah,
I like
hopefully.
it. Braxton, your dad runs 5 to 10 miles every single morning.
Yeah.
What's wrong with him?
I don't know. I don't know how he does it. It makes no sense.
Do you ever go running with him?
No.
No.
Never.
Smart man.
Guys, thank you so much for coming in, and best of luck this weekend with LCC.
Yeah, we really want you to have a lot of luck against LCC.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, fellas.
All right, guys, the WOSN football schedule for the week, and we've got some dandies. It's week 10. You knew we'd have some rivalries. We'd have some conference championships on the line, and a chance for one school to knock off the king.
But Danny, they're all 5-star matchups, aren't they?
Right, they are. Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at Game 1 Friday night. Bluffton and Columbus Grove. Randy Roberts and you, Miles Holiday. Bluffton comes in 7-1, 4-1 in the league. Columbus Grove off a huge win over Lima Central Catholic, 6-3. Trying to go 7-0 in the NWC.
Yeah, this is a game that you got to believe, since it's been 8 in a row for Columbus Grove over top of Bluffton. Bluffton has to get off to a fast start, right? If they do not get off to a fast start, then you start playing that whole mental game of, here we go again. It's been a generation since we've beaten these guys, and all of a sudden we're down 21-0. How are we going to win this football game, right? Bluffton has got to get off to a great start. Now, the good thing about them is Parker Lovell is running the football extremely well, had a really good game last week. They're going to have to run the football, because if it becomes one of those situations that we're just going to let Tate Gieske throw, and then maybe he makes a play with his feet, that's not going to work against a very physical Columbus Grove football team. Columbus Grove's fantastic. We know they're going to be marquee players everywhere. Gieske, Trevin Baxter. Is there anyone better than that kid in all of Northwest Ohio? Yeah. He's fantastic. Best is throwing the football really well. The physicality and the special teams at Columbus Grove, they're really good on special teams, guys. That might be the difference, plus that little bit of a mental edge.
For me, I mean, when you look at this matchup, at the end of the day, all the things that you talked about, all the stuff we could talk about, there are certain matchups where you don't have to hype them up. You just know about a matchup. Columbus Grove and Bluffton is one of those matchups. You don't have to hype this up. You don't have to sell it. You don't have to build it up. Everybody knows what this is. Those two teams this week is going to be different in both of those communities. Not just the schools, not just in the locker rooms, in the community. Bluffton knows that it has been a minute since they won this game. There is extra on there. And every year that you continue to lose, the next year becomes more and more ahead. We saw that at all levels, right? We've seen it with the Ohio State-Michigan stuff. You've seen it at the pro level with teams. When a team feels like they have your number, it doesn't matter, good, bad season, whatever it is, that creeps in a little bit. And it's going to be up to Coach Richards. It's the mental part, I think, is what's going to be the biggest thing. If he can get his team to not make mistakes. Columbus Grove and Bluffton, for the great season that they've had, they have been highly penalized. They need to cut back on those. You can't afford turnovers. Do not give Columbus Grove extra chances. The last couple weeks, Columbus Grove has been feasting off of mistakes. Against Crestview and against LCC,
Great point.
They made both of those teams pay for mistakes, whether it be turnovers, whether it be in the special teams. That is how they jumped out to leads. And then once they have leads, they don't give them up. And so if you're Bluffton, you have to come out, you have to control the ball. You cannot give Columbus Grove extra opportunities. You have to make sure that you play not a perfect game, but as perfect as you can make it, and not allow Columbus Grove to feel confident about themselves. Because if you do, this is going to be a long night.
How do you not turn it into that situation where you try too hard? Remember when Ohio State, it seemed like they could never beat Michigan with John Cooper, well, here recently too, right? And it seemed like they would try too hard, and the next thing you know, they make mistakes because they're trying too hard. If you're Coach Richards, how do you get your guys to play extremely hard, but yet relaxed?
Game number 2, Friday night, Lima Central Catholic versus Crestview. Dave Bowen, Josiah Stober on the call. LCC comes in 8-1, 5-1 in the league, off of a loss to Columbus Grove that we mentioned. Crestview comes in 6-3, 4-2. No secret here what Crestview wants to do. They're going to run behind Will Sheets, Braxton, Leeth, just churning out the yards.
Why change the formula?
Right.
I mean, he's averaging, 238 yards per game, 232 last week, 3 TDs. Now, the thing that is a little bit alarming, though, this was a team in Spencerville last week that they played. Really struggled this year on offense, except for last week. Spencerville ran the football against this Crestview defense. Zach Luzier, 196 yards, 2 TDs. That was a football game, and if you're Crestview, that's got to be concerning because, Nate, as we know, LCC can run the football, can't they?
Absolutely, but you almost wonder, if you're LCC, you have to avoid kind of what I think we believe Crestview went through, which is that Columbus Grove hangover. Because Crestview had that tough game, they were up, and then it did not go their way against Columbus Grove. They come back the next week, they're a little bit of that hangover. We saw them struggle with Spencerville for where they put them away. LCC, they're now in that spot. They played a tough game against Columbus Grove. They now have to come off of that. They cannot afford a hangover. They have to be the team that they were in the second half against Columbus Grove, not that first half team. They come out and play like that first half team, they could be in some trouble. It's going to be, like you said, Danny, no secret what Crestview wants to do. They're going to run the ball. Yeah. They run the ball, they control the clock, they give themselves a chance to win this game because they keep it out of that offense of LCC's hands. If they can do that and LCC can't find a way to slow down that run game and they watch that clock just continue to tick, this could be a tough matchup for them.
I do like the linebacker matchup for LCC, right? Because a lot of what Leeth does winds up getting bounced outside, right?
Oh, yeah.
These are 3 really good linebackers for LCC. They can funnel it back into Fulke. He's going to win that matchup more times than left. But Xavier Purnell, I thought, was fantastic in the second half against Columbus Grove last week. And then Mr. Sutton, Devontae Davis. I mean, those are 3 really good linebackers for LCC. But can they play without those negative emotions that really cost them last week against Columbus Grove? I thought that was a big learning environment for them because I thought at times their emotions got the best of them.
Yeah, I think so. And if you look at it too, if you're Crestview and LCC gets out to a quick start and they find a way to slow down that run game, which is a lot easier said than done against this Crestview team, and Crestview has to start throwing the ball. Now all of a sudden, though, that secondary of LCC is no joke either.
No.
You got Michael Quatman back there, who might be the best corner/safety in the NWC.
A lot of quickness back there.
And he a ball hawk. A lot of interceptions coming his way. They got Dakota Gerdeman and other guys back there as well. So a lot of different ways that the LCC defense can beat you if you become predictable and you're forced to do things that they know is coming.
They got another advantage too. If they're not getting the calls that they want, their fans will let the officials know.
For me, guys, with Lima Central Catholic, it's the bounce back.
Yeah.
You took a tough one to Columbus Grove. What are you doing this week to prepare for that bounce back? And look, if Crestview gets an early lead and they get the clock on their side and they're running the ball and maybe they're getting 6-8 yards a carry, then does doubt creep in your mind? And I think Colin Stolley's job this week is, hey, look, we've done well all year. We're fine. Play our game. Let's continue to do that. Run behind that massive offensive line. Don't do anything silly.
I think they forgot that a little bit last week.
Stop the run. Stop Braxton Leeth, which is easier said than done. Kid is talented, but I think those are the keys for LCC.
Danny, a guy you're going to fall in love with next time you see him carry the football, Carter Lester.
Cool.
Yeah.
Second half just ran.
He was a monster against Grove in the second half.
Game 3, Friday night. Wapakoneta takes on Bath. Garrett Mansfield, Dar Nevergall. Wapakoneta going for an undefeated season. Bath trying to spoil it. And I'm here to tell you, fellas, Bath has been gunning for this game all year long. But if you come for the king, you better knock him out, right?
Well, look, this is that stereotypical immovable force, irresistible odds, whatever that phrase is, right?
Gorilla Monsoon over here.
Because listen, you have the top-ranked defense in the Western Buckeye League with Walpock. They come in only giving up 213 yards a game. You have the top offense coming in the Western Buckeye League in Bath. They average over 460 yards per game. Something has got to give here. The big difference here is when you look at the offenses, they're 1-2 in scoring. Walpock 36 points a game, Bath 42 points a game. It's the defense. That defense from Walpock only giving up 11 points a game. The Bath defense giving up over 20 points a game. It is going to be all on that Bath defense to find a way to slow down Walpock, because you do not want to get into a shootout with this Walpock offense, because that defense is not going to let you do it.
Yeah.
I think the key to this game is kind of what we talked about with Columbus Grove and Bluffton, and it's going to be who has the least amount of mistakes. Bath has got to limit their mistakes. They are the most penalized team in the Western Buckeye League. Walpock, only the second or the second least penalized.
Right.
Bath cannot afford a sloppy game. They have to limit the mistakes if they want to pull the upset on Friday.
That's a good point with the penalties. That has been a problem for them. I go back to sitting right over there and Jack Rader telling us that our goal is to get to that Wapak game with only the one loss that we have. Well, they've gotten there, right? Now it's your opportunity. This would be something for Bath that would just be astronomical for this program, who not a short time ago was, arguably one of the worst programs in Northwest Ohio. For them to come this far, make that extra step. How they do that? Well, they're going to have to throw screens on first down, because we know that Wapakoneta defense is very aggressive on first down. Their blitz ratio is through the roof. They love to attack. You got linebackers like Hauser that love to attack the line of scrimmage. Well, what are you going to do? Let's throw it out. I think they have an advantage on the perimeter by throwing quick screens on first down, because other than that, you go to offenses, it's a push, right? Both offenses are fantastic, right? You go to special teams, both special teams are absolutely fantastic. Isaac Walls, the kicker for Bath, is as good as you get, but the defenses, though, right? When you look at the two defenses, the aggressive nature of Wapakoneta equal it by taking advantage of screens early.
Yeah, this is a game where, look, Wapakoneta doesn't make mistakes. I said that a couple weeks ago.
Well, you have a quarterback that completes passes.
Wapakoneta and Marion Local are those two teams that you can't make mistakes and beat them. You have to play a near perfect game. Bath has the offense to do that. Bath is explosive. Bath can score in bunches. It's the defensive side of the ball that Bath has to work on. And when you play against Wapakoneta, you better be ready for physicality. You better be ready to run or stop the run. And you better be ready on 3rd and 7 when Caleb Moyer, a play breaks down, because that's when he's really, really dangerous.
Yeah, guy completes over 80% of his passes, and they don't turn it over.
No.
It's tough to beat them.
Well, and when you have a defense that is struggling a little bit, having an explosive offense sometimes can be a detriment, because that means your offense is getting off the field quickly, even if they're scoring. But that's putting that defense on the field a lot more. And when you got a team like Walpock that can score with you, that's always not a great recipe.
You wonder, a team like Wapakoneta doesn't turn the football over, right? If you are Bath, do you think about things like surprise onside here and there to try and steal possession? Because you know at some point in time you're going to have to get that extra possession against a team that doesn't turn it over.
I think it's one of those things when you talk about pulling an upset, things like you have to have some things like that go your way.
Yes,
if you're going to pull up an upset, which Bath has had a fantastic season. I think they're going to have a great run in tournaments. But this would be a monumental upset for this program. Yep. If you're going to pull an upset like this, even with as great as Bath has been this year, you're going to need some things to go your way, and that might be one of them.
Yeah, two quarterbacks, though. If you're going to pick,
he's
like, pick one that you want to have in a big game. Can I have them both? Right? They're both fantastic.
Game 4, Coldwater, Marion Local. Mark Shine, Jerry Snodgrass on the call. Coldwater comes in 6-3, 5-2 in the MAC. Marion Local undefeated at 9-0, 6-0, and reportedly the 50-50 is now at $1.8 million. I kid, of course.
Armed security will escort you out.
Poor Mark Shine will be one number off.
I tell people all the time, if you're going to go to high school football in Northwest Ohio, and you could pick a game every year to see the pageantry, the crowd, the players, this is the game to go to. We all talk about it in the area. I can promise you this. The other games we talked about, there will be people in the stands listening to Coldwater Marion Local.
Yeah, it is the marquee matchup every single year, right?
Is.
And boy, how does Mark Shine get it every single year? We love you, Mark. Have a great call with Jerry Snodgrass on that one. Look, Coldwater, lots of issues, right? Are they healthy at running back enough to compete in this football game? They've been banged up. They have turned the ball over. Now, the biggest thing I think that they have to their advantage or their disadvantage is the defense that they run. They are a 3-down team, a 3-3-5 defense, right? Well, what do teams like to do against that? Marion Local, what they should do is box them in. Go too tight, run right at them. First down going to be huge, because if Marion Local gets themselves in detrimental 3rd down position, remember 2 weeks ago, Anna runs a 3-down front, 3-3-5. What'd they do? They were creative with blitzes. They were all over Hess, sacked him 7 times, made his life miserable. So I think Marion Local gets them, boxes them in too tight, runs right at him on first down, 4 or 5 yards, keep you out of that 3rd down and long. Teams that are 3-down teams do not like to be physical. They want to be a finesse game out on the perimeter. Make it be a physical war against Coldwater.
You know, let me do a little trivia here with you guys, a little bit of knowledge, all right? Coldwater this year, we know that's been a little bit of an off year for them, right? By their standards. So a lot of other people would feel like this is a successful season. Coldwater a little bit off. Defensively, they are in the bottom half of the MAC in defense, in both total defense and scoring defense. Okay. Now, with that being said, being in the bottom half of the MAC in total defense and scoring defense means that defensively you're only giving up 253 yards a game and you're only allowing 17 points a game. But that puts you in the bottom half of the MAC. That is the
Still
story of the MAC.
Yeah.
And so even though this is a quote-unquote down year, this is still a really good Coldwater team that is really good defensively. Now, they're playing a Marion Local team that everybody knows about Marion Local and what they do and what the last 4+ years have been for them and all the success and all those things. And it just is what it is because you look at Marion Local, they're averaging less than 10 points a game, giving up that defensively. Coldwater, and this has been a theme of these big games we've talked about, Coldwater, they are the most penalized team in the MAC. And it's not really that close. And then if you look at the turnover ratio, Marion Local plus 11 on the season, Coldwater -2. That cannot be a stat
No.
if Coldwater wants to come and win this game. Now, if there's any team that's going to walk into a game against Marion Local and not be intimidated by the helmets or the uniforms, it's Coldwater.
Coldwater.
And I do not put that past them. We've seen Marion Local been a little bit, not susceptible.
Yeah.
Some would say they could have lost twice.
Potentially, but I also think that that's a dangerous thing for everybody else because Coach Goodwin knows that they've almost lost a couple of games. He'll use that as motivation to focus his team and get them ready and get them up for these games. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Coldwater has lost some games in ways that we haven't really seen them. It's not a typical disciplined, I guess we could say, Coldwater team that we have seen with the amount of penalties that they have had. But if they go into this game and they clean those mistakes up and they play a clean game, they can hang with Marion.
Is he saying it? So you're going to say 73-1 after Friday or Saturday night?
No, I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying that Coldwater.
Or is it going to be 74-0?
Are we going after 73 or 74?
74.
Is it 74?
Listen, I'm just saying Coldwater, of the teams that are going to take the field with Marion Local, Coldwater is a team that is not going to go, we're playing Marion Local.
They're not intimidated.
You're calling Coldwater is what I'm hearing.
Don't say it.
I'm not biting. Yeah. I didn't meet him an hour ago. I know what he's doing.
I'll just say this. I think if we look at this matchup, we would not be shocked if Coldwater could pull the upset off, because it would be an upset.
I would be this year.
Okay, but if it happens, we'd be like, okay, we can see what they did and look at the film and look at the kids and that kind of stuff. But I can also see Marion Local winning this and moving on and winning a state title.
I could see Marion Local winning this by 21 or more. I could. I would be more shocked if Coldwater, like the last couple of years, Coldwater wins. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. This is not a Coldwater team, and you just laid out the case. You have to do certain things to beat Marion Local. When you don't beat yourself, right? Because Marion Local is not. The penalties and the turnovers right there. This is not a well-equipped Coldwater football team the way they've been playing to beat Marion Local.
But you said earlier that Marion Local could have lost 2 times. They could have lost.
Great teams find a way to win.
They could have lost to a 3-loss for sales team. They could have lost to a 2-loss and a team. So those 3 losses on that side, they don't bother me. With Chip Otten at the helm, anything's possible.
The quote, the great Gene Okerlund, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, Danny.
You're not calling it. Or you are. He's calling it.
No.
I think he's calling it. I think you said Marion Local by 21.
No, Mark Shine and Jerry Snodgrass are calling it. It's letter time, and there it is right there, folks. If you ever have any question about anything, email us, and we just might answer it. Danny, are you ready?
Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Pick one up today.
Yay! Danny Holbrook, everybody. All right, guys. We have 5 letters from our viewers. Actual letters.
Yeah, this is the part of the show where we remind you this is not a Miles bit. This is real. The email address works. We want to hear from you.
In fact,
this isn't him just doing his thing. We want.
Yes. Right,
so
guys,
please send your questions. Email us. We're happy to answer them.
I'll keep it there for the whole segment.
Me and the 2 children I work with will be happy to answer your emails.
Mom!
Letter number 1. Who is the high school player or team that you think doesn't get enough love for the way they play? Nate, you want to go first?
So I got one each. I got a player and a team. Okay. For me, I mentioned him earlier in the matchup with LCC and Crestview, and it's Michael Quatman. Michael Quatman, I think when you talk to teams that go against LCC, he is, you got Brady Parker. We talked about Carter Lester. We talked about all these other guys. But he is a big focus of other teams as far as who they have to account for, where he's at, try to take him away offensively, and try to play away from him on defense. I think because he plays with guys like Caden Falke and some other big-name guys, Brady Parker, and he kind of gets lost in that shuffle, but he is such a huge part of that LCC team offensively and defensively. I think he gets overlooked at times.
Who's quicker, him or Flores? Because they're both
Oh,
Hickard
fantastic. And he's another one.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Flores also gets lost
Hicker
in
than
all
a
of that.
hiccup?
Quicker than a hiccup.
You said hicker than a hiccup.
It's Hicker and a hiccup. Yep.
And then for my team, it's the Shawnee Indians. This is a program 2 years ago was 0-10. And just a few weeks ago was in a game against Walpock that was for the top of the Western Buckeye League.
That's true.
Now they had lost back-to-back games against Walpock and St. Mary's. Those were competitive games, not games that Shawnee was playing closely just a few years ago. Coach Wireman has came in and he has changed the entire culture of that Shawnee team. This is a program that looks like they are going to have a really good chance to finish the season 7-3. They're going to host a playoff game, and I could be wrong, but I think this might be the first one in school history where they've ever had a home playoff game.
That's amazing.
This is a complete turnaround of a program in just 2 years. What he has done has been very, very impressive. Now, because he plays in the Western Buckeye League, and you have a Walpock and everything that they do, you have Bath and everything that they're accomplishing, you still have St. Mary's. Shawnee's getting lost in that wash, and they're not quite getting the attention that they deserve with the turnaround that they've done.
Yeah, two worthy ones. Danny, what about you?
For me, I'm going back home. I look at my alma mater, Upper Side Valley, and the reason I say that, guys, they do it every year with 16, 17, 18 kids, and they're competitive. They're in a perfect conference for the size of school. The NWCC, all those schools are about the same size with Waynesville, Goshen, and Ridgemont and USV, and it's a really competitive conference. But I look at the job that Dustin Price does out there, and he's got Ryan Roberts and Sanders and Lowry, and those are really good players. And they don't have numbers. Those kids are going both ways, and they're fighting for league titles every year, and they're fighting for playoff spots. I just give them so much credit for what they do with the numbers they have.
I bet they probably call you a lot and want to come back and talk to the team, a legend like you.
No, I haven't got that.
Maybe
they don't have my number.
Statue dedication.
But maybe they don't have my number.
Yeah, that's probably.
And listen, you got to give him even more credit this year because after losing Maddox Underwood last year, nobody really thought USD would be able to be competitive this year, and they've done that and then some.
I'm going to go with Trevin Baxter at Columbus Grove. Look, I talked to him after the football game. He's being recruited kind of lukewarm. Get in on this kid. He is unbelievably quick. He's a heck of a football player. His skill is through the roof. And then how about Liberty Benton?
Oh, they're so good.
All they do is just bulldoze people week in, week out, and they don't get as much love.
How are they not more in the computer points? To me, it's amazing.
BBC.
Yeah.
And plus, they've struggled in the playoffs against Liberty Center. They're going to have to match up and finally beat Liberty Center in the playoffs. All right, number 2, guys. Why have they gotten away from hosting OHSAA championships in Columbus at Ohio State?
Well, it's easy. Ohio State doesn't want them.
Ohio State, they don't want them.
Really don't.
I mean, that's what ultimately what it comes down to. The college isn't fighting over trying to bring all this onto campus.
Yeah, I'm always curious about that. Why wouldn't you want more people coming on campus? Why is Ohio State University kind of lukewarm? We've been to the Ohio State Track Championship every spring.
Amazing.
It's absolutely amazing.
It's one of the greatest events that gets put on in the state at the high school level.
It could be that way for everything if they would commit to it. Yeah. That being said, I really love that special atmosphere in Canton with the high school football championship.
And the truth of it is, too, is as easy as this is to answer, just say Ohio State doesn't want them. Things in Columbus do feel it's more special, right? They feel bigger, it feels better.
Right.
But
it's the flagship.
They've had the football games at the shoe.
Doesn't
it's
work.
Empty. It doesn't work. You lose something there.
Yep.
When the shot's not filled, it doesn't feel
And let's
the
give
same,
credit
right?
where credit is due. Dayton has done an unbelievable
Absolutely.
job with the state boys basketball tournament. I love it there. We go every year, guys. It's fantastic. I don't know what the numbers are, why the OHSAA and Ohio State can't get together. I have no idea.
It's got to be revenue, though, because if you're not filling those,
everything
the
always
amount
is
of
money.
The amount of money that would have to get put out by Ohio State and potentially the OHSAA to rent the facility, to staff it, to do all those things, and if you're not filling it, like Jesse O gets filled every year. It is packed.
It does.
They're getting their revenue in there.
I hope they never lose that.
Oh, absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Football, basketball, those arenas aren't filling like they used to. It's got to play a big part in that.
Good points. All right, question number 3. Have things gotten better by adding a sixth football official?
I love the officials. They're my favorite people. I think they're fabulous. I think they add so much to the games. I love the officials. Oh my gosh, they're the best people in the world, Nate.
So here's what I'll say. One, listen, I don't want to be an official. I don't want to do that job. So this isn't shade on them at all. But I don't know that it's really changed much of anything. We're still seeing calls that when we see them, we're like, is that the right call? Not the right call. I guess I don't know what difference adding the sixth official has really made, because at the end of the day, they're still human. They're still not going to get it all correct. There's things that are going to get missed. Mm-hmm. Now, we have really no way to quantify if there'd have been more missed without that sixth official, but I guess I don't really see a change in the game with the sixth official compared to the fifth.
We're still getting crews that don't have enough people on it. We're still getting games.
I didn't understand why we added a sixth if we didn't have enough officials.
We're still getting games moved to Thursday night because they don't have enough officials. It doesn't.
It definitely hasn't helped that officiating shortage.
One thing I've noticed, since they added the sixth official, more conferences. Have you guys noticed more conferences?
Yeah, I have, but I don't know that that's because you have that sixth official. I just think that they have really put an emphasis, like the head officiating and the people that oversee all of them have really put the emphasis on, hey, it's okay to get together, talk about it, and come to a consensus and overturn something or confirm something. And I think that officials in general have just really embraced that, which I think is a good thing for the sport.
I think more of that comes from the top. The NFL, you see it. College, you see it. And I think the high school guys are being, look, it's working up there. Let's get together and bring that.
You're foreshadowing a question that's going to be coming up.
Yeah.
Look, you want to make officials' lives easier. It's not about adding a 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th official. Simplify the rule book. We have way too many rules. Yeah. It is a very complicated game. It doesn't need to be as complicated as it is. Simplify things, make their lives easier. All right, Danny, you foreshadowed this one. Question number 4, do you think Ohio will ever implement video replay for high school football games?
No chance. No chance. No. It's too expensive. The schools, look, the smaller schools, USV with 17 kids playing football can't put a $5,000 machine up in the booth. It's not feasible.
Yeah, I just think practical.
I don't think it's practical. No. I think you just go with humans and
just keep it at the state championship game only.
I don't have any issues with that because
they're built for that.
That
facility is built to do that thing.
Yeah.
You can't expect high schools to implement that, especially with the way that budgets and funding and all the other stuff going on is. It's not a practical solution. I don't see it ever coming.
It's not only that, Miles, but you're going to see it when the shot clock goes into place. You not only have to put the equipment on the table, you've got to hire somebody to run the equipment.
I disagree with you, because what do we always see on a controversial play when we're on our drive home or we're eating after a game? Well, somebody captured it on their phone, and we're watching the replay of it, right?
But that's usually big plays that people are already watching, not random ones that a coach might be like, oh, well, did that foot go out of bounds? Was that a catch?
Go back to Marion Local, and that catch, was it a catch, not a catch? We all saw it 30 minutes after that football game, and it was off of a phone. We all saw it, right? I think there's going to be an advancement in technology. We're going to have enough cameras that it's going to be a thing. It's going to be a big thing eventually.
Why'd you ask us then?
Well, I did. I did. Okay. All right, last one for you guys. What do you think of the new playoff system in football for the playoffs? Is this giving a first-round bye to a team? Is that setting them up for a failure in round number 2?
So here's my take on this. I'm fine with it how it is. I'm fine with the bye. I'm fine with all those things. But I think you have to make one change. And I think that you have to do what we do in every other sport in the OHSAA, and you have to be able to put yourself on a line. If you're going to do this and you're going to have a bye come into place, instead of it just being an automatic 1, 2, 3, 4, here you go, and then everything just stacks behind it, you do it just like you do every other sport that OHSAA does. Here's your seed, and now you get to put where you want to go. So if a team wants to put themselves on the line, or a team wants to avoid somebody else.
We want to play you in the first round.
Exactly. It makes for drama. It makes for good TV.
Or you want to avoid somebody, you want to go a different way and avoid to play them until the finals, that's fine too.
How about this? We televise it, and they have to say it. Go up to the podium.
Yeah, let's do it.
We want to play you guys!
But I think that then you have teams who have the opportunity to come off the bye. You've earned that bye if you want it, or you can play. We've seen it in volleyball this year. We've seen it in soccer. Yeah. We see it in all sports across the rest of. I don't understand why football is any different. Seed them, let them put themselves on the line.
For the life
play it
out.
Howard.
Why wouldn't you take a bye though?
In football,
hurt.
right.
Anything you can get hurt,
Right.
right?
See, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
You always hear the coaches in basketball say, well, we want to keep the momentum going from the final season. We don't want to take that bye. But in football, that's the one thing I would want was a week off before I start the toughest part of your schedule.
And I don't disagree with you. I think that you would see most coaches do that. However, there might be one or two that's like no. Or again, then you get to see who wants to play who. You get to see some movement. We get to add some drama to things. You may not take the bye because by not taking the bye, you can avoid a rematch from week 10 that you don't want to see again. Right.
In hindsight, do you wish we would have stayed at 16?
I didn't. I like it. It didn't matter.
Yeah, I kind of do like the 16. I really do.
Because there's some teams that I'd really like to see one more week that's not going to make it.
There were some great matchups between higher seeds and lower seeds.
And again, you had
year.
upsets. So it's hard to argue that it was pointless. If you even won 14, 15, or 16 team wins, then it was worth it.
It's worth it, yeah. And that was letters, everybody. Danny, what is that address again?
3 wise men at WTLW.com. Send them in today. Real live letters. It's time for the Stolly Sensational Player of the Week and our Power 5 teams. Miles, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, I got to go with my man, Trayvon Baxter at Columbus Grove, guys. 18 catches. Everybody knew he was going to get the football on the pop pass coming in motion. Everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. Didn't matter. He found a way to get yards. He also had the game-sealing interception against LCC, but he's the punter as well. And when LCC had an opportunity with about 3 minutes left to drive the length of the field to have an opportunity to tie it up, what did he do? He coffin cornered it, put it right inside the 5. It is an unbelievable punt. That guy is a dude. My top 5, Marion Local, Liberty Benton, I absolutely love them. Wapakoneta, and then since I have Bluffton and Grove, they're 4 or 5. I don't let you know which one 4 or 5 they are. You decide, but Bluffton and Grove are 4 and 5.
Nate?
So for me, my sensational Stolly is going to be Salinas Parker Berkey. He had a fantastic game against Ottawa Glandor. 17 carries, 241 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Absolutely dominated on the field. Had a tremendous game. And then my top 5, Marion Local, Walpock, Bath, Liberty Benton, and then because they knocked off LCC, who would have been in my top 5, I gave it to Grove.
For me, I'm going back. I talked about this young man earlier, Corey Gurton from Pandora. But you can't play much more of a perfect game than what he played Friday night. 15 of 18, 252 for 2 touchdowns. Didn't see the field much of the fourth quarter, much of the second half for that matter. They had a big win. He sets the school record. Love that kid. He's going on the board soon. He's great. My top 5, Marion Local, Wapakoneta, Liberty Benton, St. Henry, and just to spice the matchup up this week, the Bath Wildcats return to my top 5. Now we've got a top 5 matchup between Wapakoneta and Bath.
I also had Bath in my top 5.
Oh, yeah.
Are you picking Bath?
What?
All right.
All right, guys, let's back into the Buckeye corner. Buckeyes had a big win this weekend. They're off next weekend, and then they play that not-so-huge matchup at Penn State that we thought was
at one time, right?
It was at one time.
So much water poured
but
on
who is the Buckeye from the Wisconsin game?
Well, I want to go back to that Penn State-Iowa game. Don't you think they should have waited to fire James Franklin while they were at Iowa? That way all the kids and everybody could have waved bye to him.
Wow, that's just awful. That's just awful.
Look, can they bring back James Franklin just for the Ohio State game, please?
Don't need him.
Back. Hey, the Buckeye for the Wisconsin game, though, how can it not be Julian Sane, right? Almost 400 yards passing, made every single throw, 80% completion percentage, Heisman front runner, according to me. I think the guy is absolutely unbelievable. What couldn't he have done on Saturday to help his case? He was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, so I agree with you. That's the same thing with mine. I mean, it was an easy pick. It's low-hanging fruit, but, I mean, he had an incredibly efficient game. He doesn't make mistakes. It's the exact opposite of what we saw out of Will Howard last year.
You knew it was coming. You knew sometime this year.
Darts.
Yep. Poor Will Howard making NFL money, and he's over here slandering
But
him.
36 of 42, 393 yards, 4 touchdowns. And this is finally what I think a lot of people thought we would see at the beginning of the year. They're finally starting to open up the playbook for him. He's a lot more comfortable than he was early on. He's extremely efficient. He doesn't make mistakes. He hasn't thrown an interception since back in the Ohio game. Really impressed with how he is playing, and by far and away was the most impressive Buckeye on the field on Saturday.
So I'm going to go away from that a little bit. I love Julian Sane.
I know who you're going with.
Yeah. Carnell Tate. My goodness. 6 receptions, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. Gentlemen, he had the catch of the year for me. going up with 2 defenders in the back of the end zone.
Didn't even notice him, did you?
No, that was NFL stuff. This kid is going to be a top 10 draft pick. Yeah. I'm praying he goes to Cleveland. Now, you don't want him to go to Cleveland. Nobody wants him to go to Cleveland.
Poor kid.
I don't know if I want that for him, but yeah, he's just gotten better and better and better. Now, it helps that the other guy on the other side is the best receiver in the country, but this guy, he ain't too far down the line.
All right. You're Ryan Day. You got to throw it on a big 4th down. You got to pick between Tate or Smith. Who are you throwing to?
It's Smith. It's
okay.
Smith. Yeah, it's
All right.
Smith.
All right. I will say this about Jeremiah Smith. I've been alarmed on the lack of ability to catch through combat catches this year. Have you noticed that? Anytime it's been a jump ball between him and another defender, the other defender has knocked the ball loose more times than he's come up with it.
Well, and that deep threat for him is pretty much gone away and non-existent. He's not running those deep routes anymore. We're not seeing him.
A lot of it's safety help over top. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like I said, it's freeing up things for Tate, and Tate's taking advantage.
Without doubt.
Guys, you both mentioned it. Julian Sand has been absolutely spectacular this year. 19 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1,800 yards. I don't know how you can look at his stats, look at his play, look at the competition, and not say he is not one of the top 3 Heisman frontrunners right now.
Especially in a year where there's not guys that are just knocking down that door, right? His numbers alone, they're the number 1 team in the nation. They keep
and that's got to
winning.
be something. That's got to weigh, right? Being leading the number 1 team.
Could you imagine being a redshirt freshman and you're 8 weeks now at number 1, and you're the guy that's controlling the keys of the car? I mean, that is an amazing feat. That alone should get him into the Heisman race.
So he's in it, I think, for sure. He's not the front runner. I think he's definitely earned himself after this week an invite to New York, as long as he continues on this path. There's a couple of guys in front of him. I think for him right now, I think the best that he could probably hope for is runner-up. And that'll be settled in the Big Ten title game between Indiana and Ohio State. I think those guys are right there. I think that head-to-head will settle a lot. But right now, I don't know how anybody you look at the schedule and the opponents. Ty Simpson out of Alabama is the Heisman front runner. He is beating higher quality competition. Yes, they have the Florida State
blip. You can tell
blip.
Nate watches ESPN.
Yes, he had that Florida State blip, guys. But when you just look at the schedule, you look at the opponents, you look at the numbers, he has to be the front runner right now. But 2 and 3 are real close. I think those guys now, if Simpson slips up at all, Alabama loses a couple of games, or he does not look as good even in wins, those guys are nipping on his heels, and I think the Big Ten title game will have a lot to say with who could potentially challenge him.
Alabama has a loss, right?
To Florida State.
Ohio State does not.
Yeah, but but the wins are better.
Guys,
Florida State not in the 25, not in the 25.
Buckeyes got a bye this week. I'm going to start by saying that I'm concerned about the running game, but I'm not. I'm concerned that we haven't seen a lot of James Peoples. I'm going to ask Spencer about that tomorrow. I'm concerned about the lack of yardage by the guys, but I think it's coming. I think you got some young backs back there. I think, offensive line play takes time, but we're going to have to run the ball to win the Big Ten in nasty weather in the next few weeks. We're going to have to run the ball at Michigan. And I say that by saying this. If we can't run the ball at Michigan, I'm okay with throwing 35 and 40 times. I really am with the receivers and the quarterback.
Last year they weren't, right?
Right. That's where I was
much
going
better
with that.
offensive line.
Yeah.
All right, so the whole problem with the running game, just young eyes.
Sure.
That's what we have. I think Padilla is going to be the starting guard from right now. It's been inconsistent with Tegra there.
He's had a really bad year. And I don't mean that in a bad way. He's just struggling.
The light bulb goes off and on in his head. Yeah. It needs to be on all the time. Padilla, former wrestling state champ, from a tough guy. Put him at right guard. Let your run game for it. The problem with the run game, young eyes, Ohio State loves to run counter action. Toughest thing for young running backs to find the hole in with a counter, right? Sometimes they get impatient. They'll overrun the counter action. They're too slow hitting the hole on it. Ohio State's a big counter running team. They'll be okay once these young guys get some more reps.
But the question is, what do they need to work on? And it's that. Yeah. They have to spend this bye week getting that run game better, getting guys more comfortable, getting guys more familiar with what is going to be expected out of them in that run game. That has to be the focus. Everything else right now is looking pretty good. We feel pretty good about everything. That run game, though, has to be worked on. It has to be. It doesn't have to be elite by any stretch. We got an elite defense, right? We have an elite wide receiver. We have a quarterback that is playing very well, one of the top ones in the country.
Right.
We don't need an elite run game, but but we got to have a serviceable one.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right. But red zone is still concerning to me, just for the fact that we still don't really have an identity for the red zone. Are we going to be a red zone package team where we're going to bring in 4 tight ends and 2 running backs, and we're going to run the football at you, play action to get there, or are we going to be our base offense? We haven't figured out what type of red zone team we're going to be at. We've got to figure that out. And then the only thing that concerns me about defense is when teams use some tempo. Illinois, they use some tempo, right? They got a little bit of yardage out of it. Other than that, this team's only given up 5.8 yards or 5.8 points per game. Tempo, though, I could see teams like Indiana, and maybe we play Oregon, those teams that are used to tempo, using that to our detriment.
Guys, when you look at this Ohio State team, the weakness is very apparent, and it's the special teams.
Yeah.
And it's not horrible, but it's not great. We saw Jaden Fielding missed a chip shot field goal
38.
Saturday. We saw problems in the punt game. We're a 100th in the nation in punting yards per game.
Steve McGuire, too. I don't understand it.
We saw false starts on the special teams, 2 of them 2 weeks ago. I'm concerned about this. Now, do we need a great special teams to win the national title? No, but we need a consistent special teams to win the national title.
Yeah. We won one last year, and they weren't great last year either, fellas. I remember sitting on this show talking about kickoffs and talking about field goals and all the stuff that we're talking about now. We talked about last year, and it wasn't an issue.
It really makes you wonder, too, why is it year in, year out? I mean, from 3 years ago, it's a huge improvement, but it's not elite yet. And it's Ohio State. Everything should be elite. Special teams still is not elite yet.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I'll just say that after the Michigan game, everything changed. It was like a switch went on everywhere. Offense, defense, special teams, everything came together. So.
Yeah, I just don't think that is going. I don't think special teams would be the thing that cost us that. I don't. We got through last year without having an elite one. I'd like to be better. We'd all like to be more consistent, but I don't think it'll be the thing that cost us.
That being said, though, I mean, if it comes down, we're in a semifinal or even a national title game, and we're down 2, and we get. You know, if it's not 31 or in, I'm worried about that field goal attempt.
That's fair.
Hey, guys, great episode. Next week, we got some Pirates coming to town, right?
We do. We got the guys
Pirates.
from Bluffton, Coach Richards, Tate Gieski's coming in, and then we have our good friend Buckets Berkey going to stop by, too.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, Lime Lane. You've been watching The Three Wise Men.